Ghost of Tsushima is a great game that I really enjoyed, and you can see that in my review of it. But a year after it came out, there was a DLC named Iki Island released, which I had never played until right before this video. This DLC is quite interesting, providing some brand new, great mechanics such as a charge move that allows your horse to kill some enemies in a hilarious way, and special enemies who swap around weapons, meaning you have to continuously change your sword stances to break their blocks, further amplifying one of the best, most unique aspects of the base game's combat. The visuals and music are once again fantastic, with tons of new set pieces around the island that are absolutely stunning and quite different from the base game's areas. Some of these are on another level that even areas in PS5 games haven't gotten to sometimes, such as this gorgeous forest full of purple willows. Moving on to the story, it's quite interesting, following the story of Jin's dead father, which feels like the perfect continuation. It's really cool to learn about this stuff as it connects to and deepens Jin's personal struggle and journey with his identity and family, which was by far the strongest aspect of the base game's narrative. We get a new villain with the Eagle, a Mongol tribe leader who uses a magical poison to turn her foes into her very own shamans. We get a lot of hallucination scenes that further the story being told about Jin's father and his guilt, which is alright, but at a certain point, I get it, and I don't need the fact that Jin's guilty about it told to me another 20 times. Her shamans consist of singers who can power up the enemies in their vicinity, which is an awesome idea, the previously mentioned stance-switching ones, and those total mad lads with double-sided spears who can knock you onto the ground and kill you with one swing of their weapon. These guys are really annoying, but outside of this, all of the additions to the combat and mechanics are great, and we even get some puzzles involving the grapple hook being used in a more interesting way to pull stuff down. Pretty much everything that made the base game great is here, and even though the characters are understandably not as interesting, nothing really sticks out as a downgrade here, which is great, although there might actually be a chance for this DLC to be even better than the original, and that is having better side content. Well, the side content here is somewhat recycled, as we have bamboo strikes, haikus, hot springs, and pillars of honor returning, though there are so few of them that I don't mind whatsoever. The problem with the original wasn't that these existed, but rather that there were so many of them and that they were copied and pasted throughout an otherwise barren world. Iki Island is much smaller and more contained, which helps, and there aren't as many repeated activities, which also helps a ton. But we also have some new things to do, so how are those? We have archery challenges, which are very fun and engaging little things to do, which I found fun every time. Even though I don't understand how getting all of the lanterns in 7 seconds is humanly possible, getting the bronze trophy was always enjoyable and never a hassle. There's also the Hidden Cove tournament, which is absolutely genius. This tournament has you dueling with 4 different opponents, all of whom have a very different fighting style that will force you to hone one specific skill, such as a perfect parry, perfect dodge, or stab. We also have one new Shinto shrine, which is brilliant, alongside wind shrines, which require you to do a puzzle, and then you're rewarded with a piece of armor referencing another PlayStation game. And they even have God of War and Horizon Forbidden West armor. We also have Common Courtesy and Helping Hand missions, which are missions you'll have to come by complete chance in the open world. They aren't shown in any capacity to you, you'll just have to randomly find them, which honestly reminds me of Breath of the Wild's approach to open worlds. This is a neat concept, but for those who want to get 100%, it's kind of a nightmare to find these without looking up a guide. In my opinion, it would make the most sense to have these characters travel around in search of help while you're roaming around, making it much more likely that you'll run into them, because they'll be in multiple locations through time. 2 Mythic Tales are also here, with both of them being really awesome and incorporating every mechanic in the platforming and combat perfectly. But the big, final addition is the Animal Shrines, where you play a song on your flute with motion controls for either a cat, a monkey, or a deer. These are adorable and quite engaging. Even though they feel a bit tacked on, they're entertaining, cute, and there are only 9 of them total, with one of the monkey shrines basically acting as a Shinto shrine and then an animal shrine. So overall, this is a massive improvement. While the majority of the game is the same level of quality, the story is a little bit less strong until the amazing ending, and the activities are a pretty substantial leap forward. However, the side missions are absolutely moronic, brain-dead garbage. I only pushed my way through one of the 7 of these torture sessions because that's all I could handle, but let me tell you, it was enough to make my blood boil. Not only are they as lifeless and unenjoyable as the side missions from the base game, but they also drag on for way longer, with the one I played lasting for what felt like a whole hour. And that whole time, most of what I did was just walk around and investigate stuff, which is not fun. I don't know how anyone could find this fun. This is the kind of stuff you'd play through if you had nothing else to play. It's not offensively bad, but it's offensively boring, and in comparison to the rest of the DLC, which feels fun, interesting, and inventive, these side missions are complete, repetitive trash. So overall, Iki Island does take a leap towards better side activities on the positive side of things, keeping the many good aspects of the base game in the middle, and making a less interesting story and much, much worse side missions on the negative side. I think this DLC is worth playing, but a large amount of the optional content is horrific, so even though I'd like to score it the same as Ghost of Tsushima, Iki Island gets a respectable 3.5 out of 5.